Hey, welcome to Game Dev Weekly. If you're new here, my name is Max and I'm working on a game called Hydroneer. In this series, I show you a little bit behind the scenes of the development of Hydroneer. If you want to catch these episodes earlier, you can join my Patreon link down below. I upload them usually on about a Saturday or a Sunday, and then they go live for everyone else on Mondays. In today's episode, I got some really cool little features that are going to be coming up in the 1.2 update. That's going to be dropping on the 24th of April for people who already own the game on Steam. If you don't own the game on Steam, then I have got some giveaways that I'm doing on my Discord server. But if you're not lucky enough to win a copy over there, then the game is coming out on May 8th. The price is going to be $8 for the first week and then $10 after that. So the first thing I'm going to look at this week is creating a scrapyard. A scrapyard will be a way that players can sell items in return for scrap, which can then be melted down into scrap bars or just sold at the store. What you'll get is pretty much about half the price that you pay for the item. So I'm thinking I want to put it in the town of Bridgeport right here. I'm not sure exactly where. I think a nice position would be kind of like behind here, just where this tail is. It's going to have to be a pretty big store since the landing pad will have to be quite large. Okay, cool. So now that's finished. What I need to do is kind of plan out exactly how this is going to look and where all the pieces are going to be. But first what I want to do is actually add in some brand new models. So I'm going to get started on creating some brand new models to really make this scrapyard actually look like a scrapyard and not just some of these generic buildings. So I've just finished the scrapyard. I like how Bridgeport now has these two very iconic stores. You know, we've got the equipment store in the ribcage over here, and then we've also got this massive cog of scrapyard. Inside you can find two more cogs kind of sitting at the back. I thought it would be nice to make it look a bit more like a scrapyard if it's got these kind of like rusted parts. So there's like a little platform up here. When you press this button, then anything on this platform will burn up. The platform is pretty basic. I just took a kind of metal grid, put the metal texture on it, and then on top of that metal texture I gave it this burnt effect, and then underneath we've got this rocky kind of texture on the floor. I think it fits in quite nicely with the rest of the town, and later on in this update I'm also going to add in another store which has got this very iconic look to it. Alright, so here we are at the scrapyard. I'll show you just a little bit about how this works. So let's take an anvil and place it on the platform over there. It's kind of like the buying and selling platforms, and I think that also works really well with the game design. Having common functionality like having a platform to buy and sell things, I think that's a really cool idea. Right, so let's go up on here, and there we have it. Might be changing that a little bit, making it look a little bit nicer. And then right here we've got two scrap metal cubes. Now these scrap metal cubes are pretty much just a basic resource. They're actually quite cheap, so I can craft these into scrap bars, which will increase the price a little bit. I think in total it'll be just over half price that I'll get back if I actually melt them into bars. But it's a nice way to, you know, sell items. It's not as simple as just putting them in a pile and then pressing sell. I think this is quite fun and adds just a bit more flavor to the game. So something else that I've been working on this week is these little fishing pots. They're pretty simple. They're just like a little feature I wanted to add in to make fishing a little bit more advanced. But as you know, fishing isn't the main part of the game, so I kept it quite basic. So what you do with these is you pick them up, and pretty simple, you just put them in water. And then after somewhere between 30 seconds and 3 minutes, a fish will appear inside and pick it up and take the fish out. These work pretty much the same as just normal build items. You know, you can kind of rotate them and place them inside the water. They will only work inside water, but they'll work in streams, in rivers, in ponds, in lakes, and in the sea. This does mean, however, that they have to be in inside a build area. If you notice, I'll go outside this area. It won't let me put it down in here because it's out of the bounds of the dig site. But if I come inside, then I can place it down pretty well right here. So let's see if we've caught anything yet. Nope, doesn't look like it. Oh, I just heard something. I think we caught one. Yeah, we caught a fish. It looks like a small one. And now as well in the new update, fishes, they change size and color depending on how big they are. So I think the yellow ones are the biggest fishes. Oh, we got another one over there as well. Yeah, it plays a little splash noise when you get the fish, just so if you're nearby, then you can hear it. So if I just pick up the crate, then, yep, there we go. The fish just spawns there. For some reason it's floating, but I'll look into that and make sure it doesn't do that in the future. These also save as well, so, you know, if you didn't manage to pick them up before quitting the game, then it'll still be in there. This last feature I'm going to show you is a really cool one that I'm really happy about how it's turned out. Now, it works a little bit like the relic system, where things are buried underneath the ground, and when you dig them up, they appear in the world and you can use them. But with this, they're all very close to the surface, and these are little plants. So I'm just going to pick up this pickaxe right here, and there should be, around here, there it is, one of these seed bags. Now, what this is it's like a little bag, and it works like a build item really, but it's kind of consumable. So if I pick it up, and what it needs to do is it needs to be colliding with the voxel terrain, the diggable dirt, to be able to be placed down. See, it can't be placed down on this bedrock material over here, and it can obviously only be placed inside of your build zone. So what we're going to do is I'm going to place it over here, and it spawns a plant. You can see here it's a little bit stretched and looking a bit weird, kind of like leaned over, but it spawned this purple plant we've got here. You can see here it's actually cleared a space as well for the plant, so it's not clipping weird or anything. And I think it looks really cool. Obviously I need to sort out that issue where the plant's leaning over to one side, but that's, you know, not a big issue to solve. So what's really nice about these plants is that there's 10 different types, and they all look vastly different from each other, and each plot has 2 or 3 different plant types as well, so you can kind of grow your own plants and collect them. These plants take about an hour to grow to full size, and when it gets to a certain size it can also be harvestable. So if I come over here and hit it with either a pickaxe or a shovel, then it will remove the plant and give us our seeds back. Now, if this was a bigger one, then I would get 2 seed bags instead. And that way I can start growing out my own little farm of these decorative plants. That's going to round up this video for this week, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching. There are a tremendous amount of improvements, balances, upgrades, and new features that are coming to Hydroneer in the 1.2 update on April 24th. Now, I'm not showing them all on this YouTube show, and I'm not announcing them like on my Discord or anything, just because some of them are actually subject to change, and I haven't completely finished adding them all into the game just yet. But I'm really, really excited about this update. It is massive. There is literally, the patch notes go on for pages and pages. I'm really happy with how it's come out, and I'm really looking forward to getting this into people's hands. One of these main features is, you know, all the vehicles being fixed up, and also just loads of balances to make the game actually feel like a little bit more of a challenge. A big thank you to all my Patreons. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all next week.